desert of a city. I grew up on the streets here, ended my youth in the service, making many contacts as rookie. I was soon promoted, called up to go above and beyond the call of duty, to seek out a man. A sour night it was. Should have been patient, but I wanted blood, and so did he. He bested me, tore out my throat. I turned to the drink, dripping with neon and rye. They retired me, made me go private. This is my story.
Welcome to Tome Alone. Today we're going to be discussing Case 1, Premium Cargo. I thought I would do a quick video explaining what went into creating my traveler world and give you a little bit of background on my character before we jumped into the first play session. A side note, this channel wouldn't have existed without the encouragement of two other YouTube channels, The Bad Spot and Errant Adventures. Both Matt and Steve made a whole video answering my question about how to get started in YouTube, and it's really thanks to them that I made this video. So thank you guys. I will link their channels along with that video in the description, so you should definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Okay, let's get into Traveller. Started off using the Traveller core rulebook for 2022. Rolled up my characteristics, and as you'll see here, I got pretty good stats. Like, these are obviously after I've gone through the kind of background, the career that he had. You know, these got bumped up a bit, but I did roll really strong to begin with. So his name is Haley Keach. I use the Book of Symbols pretty much for every single solo role-playing game I've ever played. It's my Bible, and that was a great tidbit that I got from a channel called Swords and Solitude. He was the one that had discussed this book, and so I went straight out and got it, and it is really incredible for solo role playing because I can roll up. There's so many different things, and symbols are a great, kind of nudge when you're stuck or when you just need something. It has names in there, has all sorts. So I used that to come up with Haley Keach. I think actually it was Haley Keith to begin with, and yeah, so he went through 5 terms, became a lieutenant, and then he was shot, as you've seen from the intro. So after that, I kind of had the idea, what kind of traveller-esque things would we do with him? And in the end, I just thought, actually, it would be really great if he was a PI, and he kind of started off around the spaceport. And that was kind of, maybe somewhere in the story we'll see him, go from the spaceport, investigate, maybe onto a ship and then off to another planet, or things will expand as they do in solo role playing. And he had a really good pension as well, and he'd earned quite a bit of money through his experience, and it was just unfortunate that he'd got shot. When you muster out, you get a bunch of benefits and things, and so I rolled up that he got some augments, and I was allowed to choose augments that were worth up to a certain amount of money. So he got enhanced vision, which is like binoculars, things like that, but they're in his eyes, and he got subdermal armor. So that then gave me the idea that, okay, when he got shot, then they kind of operated on a bit, and they gave him these options to kind of, Robocop himself up. He ends his career with a nice kind of paycheck, and he buys himself a laser pistol. Yeah, the last thing was I got equipment, so I chose a very good computer. As I was creating Keach, I wanted to know more about the world before I finished his kind of story, so I went off and had a look on Google Traveller Map, and it's like the first search. I can link that in the description, but when you go in there, you have like the whole, I guess, Traveller universe and all of the sectors, subsectors, planets, etc. And I literally just zoomed in and just kept zooming in until I landed on a planet. I guess I was just lucky for the kind of concept, that the loose concept I had in my mind of him being in in the law enforcement or some style of Blade Runner-esque character. This is a non-aligned, human-dominated world, so really it is one of those worlds that could be very loosely tied to Traveller, if I wanted it to be. But I want to make it I want to bring in the lore of the Traveller world, the Third Imperium and all that kind of jazz. I want to get that involved at some point, but at least for now it's great for me and for a solo role player to really imagine my own version of Aliqua. There's not a huge amount of water on this planet compared to Earth, at least. Atmosphere thin, so this leads me on a little bit to the next supplement that I used. Once I'd found my planet, I went on to Reddit and I had a look around for like random tables. I have loads and loads of random tables and things. TTRPGs has a whole plethora of them, but one of them that I found on Reddit that I ended up tracking down a copy of was Augmented Reality. This one was written by created by Paul D. Gallagher, and again I'll link all these things in the description, but what a great supplement. So it's a holistic city guide for cyberpunk role-playing games. So Traveller's not necessarily a cyberpunk role-playing game, but it is a sci-fi game, and my mindset is more inclined to a cyberpunk-ish story. So I had gone through that and rolled through, I think I just went through every single table just to start building blocks of what this kind of place is. Where was it? Urban Sickness, that was one that I thought was really, really cool. So yeah, I think I got alopecia, hair loss, and alopecia pollutants, chemical soup. I love that. I wanted to call this chemical soup, but I went with the title Premium Cargo for the case. But yeah, great supplement. So I won't go into all the specifics of the things that I rolled, but as you'll see through through us playing these scenarios and playing in this world, the kinds of things I'm going to steer towards are the things that have come up through randomly rolling on those tables. I might do a video all about my version of Aliqua and go into much more details about the things that I rolled up in, or how I envisioned the world. I might do like another mini intro movie or something on it. And the other things that I kept rolling up was like biohazards, and I did go through the tables to think like, oh, maybe this is just a theme for that supplement, but no, it just randomly I was rolling up a lot of things that were biohazard related. So I hadn't discovered this information on Aliqua. When I found the planet and it came up, you could follow a link, I think, to Wikipedia, and so I followed that and I had no information on it at all. So I figured, great, here is something that literally start from scratch. And then I realised there's like a drop down button, you click on that and then it gives you all this information that you're looking at now. All of the random things that I'd rolled up and the kind of world I'd built in my head fit with what the information is available on this planet. And the travel zone is caution as well. We said it had a good starport, so in my mind it's like one of the saving graces of this kind of crappy planet is that it has a decent starport, and that's where we're directing our initial case, and we're going to kind of explore this starport and try and find out who's been pilfering the cargo. The other supplement that I used was 101 plots, and that's part of the Mark Miller series. I have a bunch of different Traveller plot supplements. I've been using that, and one of them was called Premium Cargo. We needed to transport these 2-ton cargo canisters from one destination to another destination. But I just took the idea that, okay, this small shipping firm has hired me to find out who's stealing their cargo. So of the 8 canisters, only 7 canisters worth of cargo was actually amongst the 8 of them. It said in the plot was that it was luxury cargo. So whilst I was walking the dog, I kind of had this idea. There was a really beautiful red sky and clouds, and I just got kind of transfixed in the kind of light, and I thought of this idea of like liquid light. Percolated that a bit more and thought, well, what could that be? When people are colonizing new planets that are not habitable, they need to terraform it. they can't have specific generators or specific electrical currents or things like that on these very rare planets. So in order for them to do the terraforming, they perhaps have some energy that they can use to terraform it, right? But when it comes to like lighting, say they build these little portable habitats where they can survive, whilst like they have, say, a small working colony, like a very small working team, they go and erect these terraforming machines, and the light strips that they have around them is this liquid light. So you put the liquid light in these hollow tubes that are they're darkened a bit like sunglasses, and the light is so strong that it still permeates from them. But what I guess criminals do, or drug addicts, they can get a hold, if they get a hold of this liquid light, get like hallucinations and visions and things like that, obviously mixed with whatever we'll find out, I guess, what the drug of choice is on this planet. But yeah, it's a kind of hallucinatory thing. One of the last supplements that I'm still using now is the 2400 series. It's basically a lo-fi sci-fi RPG. Jason Tochi, or Jason Toki, he's one of the main creators, I think, for these games in this series. And again, I just found this through Reddit and through people's advice, and there's a whole bunch of supplements. They've got for all kinds of different styles of game, and I think I've pretty much got all of them. At the end of each, they have like 2 pages or 3 pages of rules, which are like really rules light. Even some of the rules I've taken for other games. But at the end, they always have like random tables that are just really, really good. So I use those random tables to generate things, and one of them is called Code Breakers. And right at the back of that, there is a D20 table for contacts. When he was a rookie, he got promoted because he managed to get like a really wide network of contacts, almost like a Sherlock Holmes consulting detective. If you're familiar with that game, I'm going to use that as my kind of go-to if I get stuck. I'll go back to that person. They can give me a little bit of information, and I'll show you the kinds of things I do in order to progress from that through the play. The first one I've rolled up on that table is number 5, Meek Hacker, Starting to Suspect Truth. They all have names, but I didn't like their names, so I went to the Book of Symbols. I rolled up, I think it was Rooster was the symbol, and I thought Rooster's pretty cool. And the artist that did the painting on that page was called Benicio. So I thought Benny Rooster. I thought I liked that was a cool name. Maybe he's like a conspiracy theorist, or he knows a truth that can help us with the case, But his point is that he's a hacker. Not a very good one, but he'll be able to help me with any kind of hacking. I will be using the Traveller rule set, but I might tweak things here and there. When I'm using his skills, for instance, if he doesn't have a skill and I go to this contact, that's not necessarily the Traveller rules, but I think if it all aids the story then and the fun, then I don't see any harm in it. Okay, so I think we'll leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed Tome Alone. This is just our first outing, and we haven't even started playing yet, so please join me on the next one where we'll just jump straight in, I think. And thanks for watching.